Hey, this is Clay Trader, and like you just saw, this will be a video chart on PNGM. A lot of bullish dynamics going on with this chart, so I want to get it highlighted here. Very nice potential, nice, like I said, trend, all sorts of things going on with it that makes it, I think, at least watch list worthy. So let's just dig right in here and start to break things down from the technical perspective. So the first event or dynamic, whatever you want to call it, that I want to talk about is right here. Uh, and that has to do with this purple line crossing up above the orange line. This purple line is a 50-day simple moving average. This orange line is a 200-day simple moving average. And when the 50 crosses up through the 200-day, that is called a golden cross. Now, I'm not going to go into depth about the golden cross, but if you go to Google or any textbooks you might have laying around about charts, everything should talk about the golden cross, but it's a very bullish dynamic. And like I said, it just occurred a few days ago, so that's a great way to kind of start off when you're looking at a chart. The other important thing about this is it shows us where the overall kind of context of the chart is. What do I mean by that? Well, we have this orange, or excuse me, the purple line here sloping upwards, and like I said earlier, this is our 50-day simple moving average. This is a longer term moving average, which means it shows us what a longer term trend would be. And with this having a positive slope to it, that tells us that the overall context, the overall trend is bullish right now for the chart. And that leads us into the next point, the pattern that we have. So back here when it bottomed out, and then from going up and then reaching a high here on August 24th, it's given us a nice bullish pattern. Now, I'll be the first to admit you could probably draw this pattern different ways than what I'm going to do it here, but at the end of the day, a pattern is the important part of the pattern is not necessarily how you draw it, it's just the psychology that it is telling us. So we'll make this just a neutral color, and this is going to be what we'll call the flagpole. So the point here being that the price has made a nice move. And then here we have our resistance portion of the pattern, and that's up here at 10 cents. And then finally we have our support portion of the pattern, and this is one of the key things for it, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. Changes to green because it is a support level. But this gives us what I would call a bull pennant pattern. Now again, what gives me the right to say a bull pennant instead of a bear pennant? Well, going back to the overall trend, the overall context, it is bullish given the way these moving averages are acting. So that's what makes it a bull as opposed to a bear. So a bullish pattern has taken place and is shaping up here, and we're getting close to a breakout. But before I get there, I want to talk about just the consolidation period. So all stocks can make a big move up, but after the big moves, it really becomes a question of, is the chart going to be able to hold its gains, or is the chart just going to, go right back down to where it started? Well, this one becomes pretty easy to see. Sure, it's been going sideways. Sure, it's had some red days, but the point being, every time it has pulled back, it's been putting in higher lows. So example here, the low was at 0.051. This low right here was at 0.056. This low here was at 0.06. And then the low right here was at 0.0651. So you get the point. Every time it has pulled back, it's been putting in a higher low. So sure, it hasn't been making this monster move like it has, but all charts need to go through consolidation. There's no such thing as a chart that continually goes straight up day after day after day. And the true test and true strength of a chart is measured during the consolidation and whether or not those gains can hold themselves. And so far, so good with PNGM. So that's a positive thing to see and a healthy thing to see, that the chart has not only been able to hold its gains, but has actually, quietly been putting in higher lows. So a nice base is clearly getting built here. Now for the fun stuff, I talked about this level up here. This is 10 cents, and this is definitely the kind of stubborn level of the chart where twice now the bulls have knocked their heads off of it. But this is the key level of resistance. With a break above this, that puts the chart into blue sky breakout territory. If you scrunch up the chart, there's just nothing over there, so you can take it back further and you'll see that eventually you'd see some previous highs, but those are from years ago. So as far as I'm concerned, a break above 10 cents puts in the blue sky territory. Today's volume, although it didn't quite push it through, you can see that volume is picking up, so the chart seems to be waking up now, and we'll see what happens the rest of this week. But with a break of 10 cents, as I always say, the more volume on the breakout, the more confidence you can put on the breakout. So keep an eye down here, and we'll see what sort of follow through happens if the bulls can push through this 10-cent area. So if there are any other questions on the chart, please let me know. If not, thank you for listening. And one more time, this was PNGM.